And I have to admit, when we would talk about the pandemic, you kind of made me nervous, and it hadn't happened yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is the benefit of the years
being a futurist, a future thinker.
Exponential thinking.
Yeah.
A pandemic spreads exponentially.
Right.
And it's pretty clear when you look at the world which leaders navigated that and understood that and which leaders didn't. I remember we were organizing week-long training sessions for one of the biggest consulting firms in the world, and it got canceled.
Right.
It was clear right then in the middle of February that nothing would be happening for the next 6 months.
Yeah,
at
no
least.
travel.
No travel. And
Yeah.
it was very clear to me because they had partners flying in from China and Italy, which are hotspots, and they canceled everything, which was the right thing to do. But you roll that out just a bit forward, and it was clear that we're going to be in an extended lockdown. We have access to the top medical experts in the world, and they instantly said this is a 2 to 3 year lockdown.
Right.
And so trying to get our heads around that, you go through this initial panic session, and then you figure out what do you do, then you try and think of the longer term ramifications, and then you have to activate, because you can't just sit around paralyzed.
Well, I have this framing for this pandemic period. The way I think about it is this. I think we're on a continuum. At first, we start with panic and freak out, right? And then when we get past that stage, we move to grief and loss, because there has been so many layers to our lives that any one of us no longer has, right? And then we have, if we can come through grief and loss, then we can get to activating and innovating, which is something that you and I really do innately. However, you were exceptional because you went to innovate like this. You went to activate like in 5 seconds. I think we had this conversation in the car about let's take an event online, and you spoke to your team, and then ExoWorld, the idea of ExoWorld came up, and you were running from whatever was the day of lockdown, you were running.